Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another you, another me, another Wrath of the Gods qualifier has just commenced in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Der Super Saiyajin. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Nulf. It's got to be scary going up against one of the most overpowered races in all of the anime universe. However, it's going to be Thor, it's going to be Odin, it's going to be Giza, it's going to be the first game here of qualifiers number 3. This is your last chance to get into the main event. Top 16 qualify. And there's already been 2 events, so a lot of players are basically already in that upper echelon. It's going to be very, very challenging to dethrone them in this one, but we'll see how things are going to go here as Nulf doing what he can to get started. He hasn't thrown down that ox cart just yet. He hasn't got himself any sort of upgrades in just yet, so he's just going to be playing a fairly stock standard opener, not trying to find any sort of early game advantages over his opponent that may or may not be possible. On the left side of the map, we've got ourselves a couple of relics here. We've got the Thundercloud Shawl here with that damage vulnerability to pierce being minus, not the most important in the Norse mirror. Over here we have that Nose of the Sphinx, a very, very nice relic here with that plus 15% bonus HP on the buildings. Over here, Anvil for Fires. This is an absolutely insane relic. There's got to be some tech, right, where as Thor, instead of going for the early armory, obviously you've got to know that this relic's on the map, which is basically impossible, but if you did, you could go for like an early temple and get a Hearser out, and then pull the relic back, and then get your armory down, and then get all the upgrades through really, really quickly in the classical age or something, being very, very, very cheap. Could be even, I mean, maybe it's good, maybe it's not, I don't know. Canopic Jar of Imseti also over here as well to reduce that infantry train time. So the questions at this stage of the game in this round are basically as follows. What god is the Thor player going to go for? Does he go for City? Does he go for Freya? They change the way that they change effectively how this matchup goes in a big, big way. If you go for Freya, it's much more of a raid heavy matchup. Valkyrie matches Valkyrie and all the other good stuff. If you go for City, then it's going to be a lot more troll based, a lot more slow army based, a lot more immobile army, I should say, and packing power in more of a death ball type composition where the Odin player is going to have to utilize their mobility to try and find that advantage. So 2 very, very different play styles could really start to come through very, very shortly. As Freya is the god of choice here for Nulf. No real surprises there. I mean, if he throws a forward temple down, I can see some potential for Heimdall Rush, with the idea of potentially a wood starve on a map like this, just on the fact that all of these outside forests very exposed. There could be a world where you could go for towers on these tree lines here or something as a really, really naughty way to play, especially like on this side. And we do see Freya, it's not Freya, City coming through as well, as Der Super Saiyajin is almost about to clean up all of those armory upgrades here. As the Hearser pops out, walls coming down here for Der Super Saiyajin. And he is going to be very, very safe in this early stage of the game. The same 2 are going to be happening up here for Nulf, as he's going to be protecting his base nicely. Oxcart coming up, Valkyrie is through, more walls coming down, and he is going to be dropping down that initial first Great Hall. We're also seeing on the other side here, Der Super Saiyajin, he's not taking it slow here. He's getting all of those economic upgrades to kick this game off. He's not, there's no slow start at the moment here for our main Saiyan in this tournament here. All the economic upgrades, a super late advance time. Valkyrie coming through to get a little bit of harassment. The troll is in. Another Hersa should be through to defend this one, as well as the dwarf getting targeted down. Hersa coming through to get a shot off, but the Valkyrie going to be dodging down to the bottom side of the map here. Going to be dropping down a longhouse on this side. Lots and lots of idle dwarves need to get to work, but Nulf at this moment here has spotted some villagers on this side. Going to be dropping down that forest fire. Can he pick one of these ones off? One more shot and he's going to get a villager kill. Would he get a second one? It looks like he's not going to be able to, as he has to retreat back. Great start here for Nulf in the main base over here. He's now getting out a whole bunch more units. Those raiding cavalry are going to be starting to pile out here as well. A little cheeky berserk down onto the bottom side of the map, searching for some stuff. Relic going to be coming in. That is that anvil of Hephaestus. He can get even more of an economic advantage with that one, as the Valkyrie going to be coming through. Nice awareness there from Nulf to pull away for the time being, as the Valkyrie down to the bottom side. Just going to be biding its time, waiting to enter all of the economy at the top side of the map. If you can do this, this is generally the best way to play. Just on the fact that if all your economy is in one location, you only have to defend one location. Makes it much, much easier. House coming down, double long house now up here, as well as the Valkyrie back in. Oh, and the troll hits the big boulder there. That's a huge amount of damage if you can get that one off onto a unit in the early stages of the game, as a raiding cavalry poking their head in, wishing that they would have themselves forest fire here, but they cannot enter just yet. Dwarves going to be retreating away now, looking for a different position to be in, as the Valkyrie coming in onto the top side. Great multitasking thus far from Nulf, as the Hersa turning in to try and take out the Valkyrie on this side. And the Hersa still holding on to this relic. You know, a player is insanely strong when they don't put their relics into the temple, because it's more about sending a message than really anything else. You know, you hold the relic and you say, you can't kill this Hersa. My micro is that good. That's what that means. That's what that means every single time. We do see a relic up here has been spotted there by Nulf. He might go and pick that one up a little bit later, as the raiding cavalry are going to try and knock down either the wooden wall or the temple here. Arguably, going after the temple is going to be a little bit more value, but the units will swing around here to push these ones back, and the raiding cavalry will have to retreat out of here pretty quickly, as he's not paying attention. The army comes through. Boulder is going to miss there, as the raiding cavalry simply push back. No problems there. More units are going to start moving forward. I could imagine some really, really sneaky multitasking starting to happen here for Nulf, hitting the temple again, while the army on the other side goes in and hits this wood line, or potentially hits the food on the front here. The Raven is going to be spotting this one. I mean, alternatively here, just taking a fight on this position right now could be a way to go. Yes, the Berserks of the army of Super Saiyajin are incredibly strong here with those armory upgrades, but Nulf's army seems to be sizably bigger, or just a little bit bigger, as the raiding cavalry coming through, going to snipe down one dwarf. Maybe a second dwarf is going to go down here as well, as the raiding cavalry trying to enter on the top side as well. Now onto the wood line over here, as the dwarves are going to dive into the tower, trying to retreat back home. Will we see another dwarf going down? Another villager going down as well. The raids are absolutely huge here for Nulf, as he does lose one raiding cavalry for that trade there, but that's a trade he's going to make every single day of the week. And now the gold miners even have to pull back in, as the Thor player dropping down a dwarven mine. The play so far from Nulf has been incredibly high level. Oxcart going to come up onto this position, as dwarves sneaking through here as well. And up on this side, houses getting taken down. This is so big. When you're already, you know, he's not, I think he is behind. Look at, he's behind on villagers as well, as when you're behind and then you're also losing a whole bunch of houses, that hurts so much. But a big overcommitment here from Nulf, as Der's Super Saiyajin's force here starting to be very scary, as we do see a little bit of the old Ghost Builderoonies coming through, but the raiding cavalry are in, going to attempt to take out some more dwarves on this position. The town center is targeting down that Valkyrie, which has got really, really high pierce armor, will end up going down. No dwarves falling just yet. One might go down on this side here, but the army will have to retreat out. He's caused so much idle time, however, that it doesn't even matter that he only really managed to get one villager killed, though units falling in a big way. And we're now seeing Nalf getting himself copper weapons, copper armor, and once he has those, he's caught up. He's also getting himself those Valkyries, which are going to be really, really big. However, we've already talked about this. The troll spam here ends up being incredibly strong moving forward. We've also got the Saiyan here holding onto that healing spring for a little bit later here as the raiding cavalry going to push forward, try and snipe down a unit as the army going to pull back for the time being, realizing not really worth it to take the fight just yet. Really, Nulf can just wait out the gold mine at this point. He's going to be attempting to take a fight here. Great micro from Nulf as his units are going to be charging forward. Throw an axeman on the back here are going to get sniped down as they're trying to retreat away. The dwarves pulling off those berries here as well as he's going to be able to get in here. Does decide to turn around. Damage is already done. Now we see that healing spring finally drop down. There will be those trolls coming back up to full HP. And no real ability to get this hammer troll upgrade, which is the big deal. You absolutely need that one. As now we see a second town center coming up onto this position here. There are two goats here keeping an eye. And we've also got the random house up on this side. I thought that was a unit just hanging out there waiting, watching. But second town center coming through. Dwarves now on this gold mine. And the question is going to be, when will Nulf figure this one out? And will he be able to win the next fight or not? He does have a population advantage. He will have a town center advantage, but that means he's invested into that in a big way. He's got the military resource advantage, but as we said, if you're staying one town center here, maybe he can catch up, and an overcommitment here from the Odin player can be a big problem moving forward. There's a house going to come up onto this position here for Nulf. He's got so many military buildings down now. He's got himself 6 longhouses, 2 great halls. This one zebra is taking a while to get through here, but all the houses look like they're up as well now as the wall's coming up around on this position here to try and defend on this location as the army comes through. Great hall going to be going down. And throw an axeman going to be charging in onto this position. That great hall is now taken out. As the army going to be pulling back ever so slightly. Longhouse looks like that's going to get taken down as well. And we've also got Njord queued up here already for Nulf. He doesn't quite have the resources for it, but he's about to. He's still got such an advantage in the military that he can definitely afford to sink these resources into a heroic age. As the micro is also looking insanely good. Raiding cavalry coming in onto the back position here. There's no real answers for these thrown axemen with the exception of those trolls. You've got to micro onto those to take them out. But the Herbmen are doing incredibly well. There's the big rock throw onto the back position there. Population situation here is looking like it's favoring Nulf in a big, big way. He's still pumping out a whole bunch of those throwing axemen, but there's no answer for the trolls here in the back as the population, it's still kind of staying in favor here for Nulf as the trolls coming back in, hitting those throwing axemen in a big way. This one Ursa is carrying this fight in a big way as the last troll does, or second last troll does fall, and the entirety of Der Super Saiyajin's army basically gets erased. Up onto this position here for Nulf. He can go for a third town center here at this moment as well, which is more longhouses is also completely fine. I don't know if he's building out of all of his longhouses at the moment. I don't know if he's updated his control group or exactly what's going on, but it doesn't really matter. He's not really struggling for production here at the moment, but having them set up for just in case is a fantastic way to move forward here. Onto the bottom side of the map here, Nulf can now get himself more gold mines. We are seeing down here for Der Super Saiyajin, he's managing to push out onto this Rhinoceros, sneak this one for a little bit. A couple of idle dwarves not going to be able to surround that Rhinoceros and go idle. A little bit unfortunate there for Der Super Saiyajin. And he's now starting to move down to the right side of the map. He knows he has to secure this, but he is just falling so far behind. And with a heroic age coming through, with Njord coming through, with Walking Woods coming through, and with 110 favor in the bank, you could definitely expect Jotuns and a whole bunch of Mountain Giants to come through here if Nulf wants to. These units are very, very strong. Armory upgrades for the moment looking very, very solid for both players in the copper regions here. Also getting that heavy infantry, heavy cavalry tech at this point is a huge boost. As there's that first troll. Not troll, but Mountain Giant. 2 Mountain Giants actually coming out before Jotuns. I'm hoping he's going to grab that tech. I absolutely love seeing the Mountain Giants come in. It's so, so strong. We'll see if he's going to go for it. More longhouses coming down here for Nulf as well. As the shaft mine just about to complete. Bragi has got a choice here, though, for Der Super Saiyan, which can be scary. Because if he has enough units here, which it looks like he's going to, and you would commit for an attack, and in that moment, Bragi hits, you can get overcommitted into a fight and then get absolutely dominated. As the Mountain Giant slowly starting to wander through here. And he's looking for some very, very big pressure onto this moment. He's still no Jotuns! Get me my Jotuns technology! As the walls get brutalized by those Mountain Giants, but he's still taking his time to push forward here. And this is giving Der Super Saiyan the time that he needs and a potential here for somewhat of a comeback. The only issue I would say is that he doesn't have any chase factor. So he almost needs to catch Nulf out in a way. It's a hill fort coming up onto the front position here. Good micro to retreat back, but the damage coming through from those trolls is still very, very big. There's that Walking Woods technology or God Power coming in to help out even more siege. Now, pushing forward. This is the time for the Super Saiyan to simply turn around and get some good damage done. But Nulf recognizes this already, pulls back. The trolls picking up the boulders here. Will they get any damage onto this one? It looks like the answer is going to be a big fat no. As the Jotun's still pushing forward, got those trees coming in from behind here. Those drone axemen getting some good damage. He has to click flaming weapons. What is he waiting for? You have to use it at this point. This is the only sort of opportunity. Now he's going to be dropping that one down. Throwing axemen will be retreating away. Mountain Giants can get cleaned up here in a heartbeat by any sort of Herster affected by that flaming weapons. But Nulf just says, all right, we'll take the L on that one. Lose my Mountain Giants, it's going to be fine. Lose my Hill Fort, but also you could potentially even go to the Mythic Age behind this. He's still on 3 towns, and he's still got that advantage. Mountain Giant over here, going to be getting sniped down. As we see another Hill Fort coming up, farms coming up into the center of the map here as well, as he does not care, because he knows there's no raiding force here in Der Super Saiyan's army. He's very immobile. 4 speed. 4.8 speed, 3.5 speed, 5 speed. Very, very immobile. There's now Nulf. He can start pushing forward. Oh, there we go. Jotuns is coming through. Yes, big Mountain Giants. I love them. Okay. The army getting pushed back for the time being. Throwing Axeman going to be charging forward here to try and deal with this one. But now just a lull before the storm. Honestly, Der Super Saiyan can just grab this town center as well. He's now clicked up through tier. And he's just going to be trying to guarantee a win at this point. Town center over here going to be coming up. Hillfort onto this position going through. Is this revealed? Yes, it is. The villagers see this one. The Berserks wanting to pull off and deal with this, but the entirety of the army is going to be moving down here in an attempt to get these units off of this position. The army for Der Super Saiyan, he's got himself 6 cave trolls. That is scary. If microed correctly, and I'm going to explain what I think the correct micro is, these things absolutely slap. Now, the correct micro, in my opinion, is because these trolls come into range at different times during the fight, they're all going to be throwing a rock at a different time, which then sends the units flying, and therefore everyone misses their throw. The way to get it is you throw one rock when every single one of your trolls has thrown one rock. That means they're all in range. Then you turn on autocast and you right click in the center of the enemy army, and that's going to get the splash damage done. But we see the army moving into the main base here as Der Super Saiyan needs to retreat away. The Jotun here from Nulf, absolutely gigantic. This thing has got 1,440 HP here. He's trying to steal this healing spring away from himself, but he doesn't actually have any answer for the battle ball. He doesn't have any answer for the trolls. This army here for Der Super Saiyan looks like it's going to be very, very strong, as he does get a big rock throw away onto that one. The hero is going to be able to come in and take out the mountain giant, but behind this we see the Fimbulwinter coming through as he's going to hit both of these positions here. And it doesn't actually look like he's going to be able to get a huge amount of damage. He is so far in front on villager count, though, that I don't even know if all of these myth units is going to matter. As now he's going up for champion infantry. Still hasn't gone for any heroes. He can get those Goaty. He can get Herser. He can even get ring giver Ulfjarls at this point. If we take a quick look at Nulf's Great Hall situation, he's got 5. Now he's getting the Goaty out. Now he sees what the problem is, and he's going to be able to deal with it. Still no third town center up on the back. The population differential is actually quite close here. And I know I say this, and I know it's kind of a meme, but never, ever, ever count out a Norse player when it comes to throwing a game. And it looks like the game has been thrown, but not by either of these players, but we've got a cheeky little freeze here. So I believe this one does go the way of Nulf. I don't see that there's a way to pull back in this one. Unfortunately, that's the way these things go. We're going to be pulling into the game, so the second game here very, very shortly. Hope you guys are having a fantastic time hanging out with me. But we just waited for that. This is so frustrating. I'm trying to stay cool on this, but just know inside of me I'm upset. All right, we'll move into the next game. Let's get it going. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 3 for this first round. In the left side of the map, now playing as Ra. His name is Der Super Saiyan. Just love that name. In the right-hand side of the map, it's Nulf, and he's playing as Poseidon. We got a Poseidon versus Ra matchup. And just as I was saying pre-game, taking a look at this base here, we see, look at these gold mines. They're all forward. Every single one of them. So a fast second town center here from our Ra player is good. Oh no. Heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken for you, Madame Villager. You threw away your wood. You could have put it into the mining camp, but alas, it was not meant to be. Nonetheless, I'll tell you exactly how this works. So a lot of players are surprised to learn that you can actually drop off resources into a gold mine, into a granary, into a farm, into a temple, into a dock. Basically any sort of economic building where your villagers would commonly change between resources, you can drop resources into them, but only if you do not shift click afterwards. If you shift click afterwards, you will unfortunately lose those resources, for better or for worse. And Der Super Saiyan gets the short end of that stick, unfortunately, maybe clicking shift click on that one. Nonetheless, I'm very, very interested to see how Nulf is going to open up. Now, what I was saying pre-game is that this is probably your best bet as the Poseidon player in this matchup, is to kind of go for a really, really aggressive classical fight. You don't need to deny the second town center. Getting damage on the second town center is more than enough. You don't need your own second town center here. All you need is good pressure and to prevent a second gold mine from getting mined at any point. That means oftentimes we see top players trying to get away with maybe grabbing this town center, maybe putting a cheeky wall here, grabbing this gold mine nice and early while they're still mining in their main base. If you do that, then you get away with a lot of stuff, get through a lot of stuff. But I think my contention here is if you can go Hermes fast, put pressure on early, get the gold control, and then just poke consistently on this gold mine with the centaur, with Hippias and all the other stuff, then when it comes to the second gold mine situation, you just hit bronze and you just take the win. That's my contention. Whether that works or not, I'm not 100% sure. Nonetheless, Katoskopot's going to be swinging around on this position, looking for a little something to spot. Needs to know exactly what his opponent's doing. Now, I've gone through this a little bit in my own sort of series, my fundamental series, but really, this scout, the information you get from this one is so vitally important. Seeing how many villagers are on the gold mine, seeing how many villagers are on food, seeing villagers on the wood line, all of that stuff gives you a little bit of knowledge as to what your opponent's doing and how you're supposed to fight against it. Now, Nulfir didn't really see all too much. I think he went a little bit too early through all that scout. The centaur going to be checking in onto this food. Nothing's over there, and he's going to have to retreat around to the other side. In the main base, we are indeed seeing him go for a one town center opening here. And he is going to be the one wanting to put the pressure onto Der Super Saiyan in this game. As we see a cheeky little Wadget comes through. Oh, he can turn around and get some big damage done. Nope, doesn't want to. Centaur retreats back. Houses are now up. This gold mine is nice and protected, and we see a village center. This is spicy. This is very, very spicy. Does the Katoskopos see it? Oh! Turn around and shank. Turn around and shank. He doesn't spot it. He doesn't see the village center. He's got no idea it's coming up. So, a village center, for those of you who don't know, is it's effectively a 0.75% of, or not 0. It's 0.75 of a town center. So it's 3/4 of a town center. So at the moment, Der Super Saiyan is on 1.75 of a town center, and Nulf doesn't know this. Nulf's got no idea at the moment what's happening, as we see a barracks coming down. And the whole idea of a village center is, well, one, I can't throw up one. A proper settlement, so I'm going to go for this anyways. And two, it's to hit an earlier timing. Because technically speaking, you get yourself a little bit more resources early on because you don't have to walk to the second town center. Technically speaking, as the barracks does come down, units on this position going to be looking to try and pressure in over here. As Nulf going to be moving on to the left side of the map, he can try and knock down this position over here. Spearman is slowly going to start coming through here for Der Super Saiyan. He's going to be under a lot of pressure here. The centaur can push off of this position. He does have some pigs here, which he can go onto. No wood income for the time being to get himself that Shadoof and the farms down. And the game plan here, as we already see a second town center for Nulf. Did he spot the town center? We did. I don't know when he spotted it, but he spotted it. So he sees the village center and he goes, all right, no worries. We're going for our own settlement here. And because he sees because he sees the barracks and he sees the spearmen coming out, he's going to feel like he can't get a gold staff here. In reality, I think maybe he can still, but the safer option is just to take the W on that town center yourself. Nonetheless, economic upgrades coming through as the Hippias going to snipe down an obelisk on that position. Coming down onto the bottom position here to try and take out the obelisk over here as the villagers going to be moving forward to drop a granary on this spot. More walls coming up here as the smart move for our Ra player, and he is kind of setting up for it, is to set up to get onto this gold mine. Wall, and just hold this gold mine. Maybe even go Heroic Age here for a Migdol stronghold while Nulf is pulling back. And I think Super Saiyan did see this town center going up. So he knows. So he's actually making what I would say is one of the better reads in this situation is, okay, you got a second town center. Now I can go for the gold mine. I might be a little bit behind on economy come, say, like 10 minutes into the game. But I'm going to be set up. I'm going to be safe. I'm not going to lose. And then I can kind of try and get some rays with my camel riders and find an advantage moving forward. But the lull before the storm is rumbling here as Shadoof going to be coming through. Farms wanted to come up, but again, not that much gold here. Hippias coming onto this position. Still not that many Wadgets either. Lots and lots of favor in the bank here. And one little trick here that you can do, just for those of you who want to play with the village center yourself, is you can take a lot of the lost villager production of the village center, at least 75 seconds of it, by getting your age up in the village center. Because it doesn't slow down. It's 75 seconds in the village center, it's 75 seconds in the town center. And unfortunately, I think Super Saiyan must have clicked on the wrong one there, or is unaware of that. Nonetheless, Hippias coming up onto the top position here. The units are in position. Aphrodite is queued up. Man, I think Aphrodite's not a terrible choice here because you can still get that pressure onto this gold mine. But I feel like in this exact moment, seeing the Heroic Age come through here from Nulf, I would consider going for Dionysus at this point for a big timing push with lots in population, because he should have an inkling that it's going to be very challenging to get a gold star at this point. Though the Spearman running down onto this position. The Rock distracting these units away. I love that. As the Spearman raid going to be charging over onto this position to try and get a little bit of value while he gets his Migdol up over here. And then the villagers will at the very least get themselves this gold. And we see a whole bunch of those camel riders starting to queue up. Spearman waiting, watching, dreaming, seeing, sniping, attacking. How fast is Nulf going to be charging in here? He's going to be able to get one villager kill here. It looks like Nulf, no reaction just yet. Another villager looks like it's going to be going down. As can Super Saiyan get another villager kill? It looks like he will, but he's going to be losing a Spearman for it. He might lose another one if he's not careful here, as he's finally starting to run away. And there he goes, as the Spearmen do manage to get out with the rest of their lives. But a big raid there. Fantastic awareness with that obelisk down the bottom, but now he's caught out in the center of the map as the Hippias starting to charge over here, and Nulf is more than happy to take this fight as Super Saiyan is going to be losing all of his spearmen as the Hippias will be able to chase them down. However, behind this, we've got a lot of those camel riders now starting to pump out. Pharaoh can empower the Migdol is an idea if you really need to get those units out nice and fast, but definitely with a priest at the very least to get that Migdol empowered is a very smart move. So we've got the Peltas now coming out for Nulf. More units swinging up here. Paspists as well. I don't know if Nulf really has the faintest at the moment as to what the Super Saiyan is building, but he's kind of made a very nice mixed army here in an attempt to deal with everything that is possible. Only problem is Camel Riders effectively counter everything that he's built at the moment, and Nulf is going to have to immediately consider going into Prodromus here, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. It's a Peltas slowly starting to charge forward. Wadget going to get sniped down here, getting caught out. The wall not quite completed as the army going to poke themselves in, as the camel riders are now going to start getting those raids in, and this is the hardest thing to deal with. There's also going to be a locust to come through here very, very shortly. The Patromus going to fall as well on this fight, as he's going to be putting the pressure over here. Curse gets dropped down. Pharaoh going to attempt to take out these units. Locust dropping in to the main base. No reaction from Nulf here, as a lot of low HP villagers are going to go down. Look at the differential in the villager count here, but he's still getting a lot of damage done on the other side of the map, as well as the villagers have to get pulled back. Those Peltast and Toxotes getting some good damage, but it looks like nothing really going all too wrong here for Der Super Saiyajin. He's now going to move on with these camel riders, looking for something else to take out on this bottom position. He's got the speed. That's the big thing. He's got that 6 speed in as an attempt at a ghost building to come through, but only 2 camel riders remaining as the villagers turn around and start shanking, and this raiding force is now over as the villagers all making their way up onto this gold mine. And at this point, our Ra player has to be very careful. He's in front by 10 villagers. That's a big deal. But his opponent knows he's going camel riders to some degree. Obviously, you could change that at this point. Maybe make Prodromus. Maybe go full spearmen. Not Prodromus. Chariot archers. Maybe go full spearmen. But he knows what he's... But Nulf knows what he's building, so he's going to be able to get some sort of a revenge raid. As do we see any sort of attempt at a raid onto this gold mine? Answer is yes. As the 4 Hippias, heavy Hippias going to come through, and this is a lot of villagers over here. They do have themselves that upgrade, Skin of the Rhino, which does boost that armor up to the crazy amounts. They've also got themselves the survival equipment technology as well, it looks like, as Der Super Saiyajin pulling back up to this top gold mine. He's going to slowly try and get out his units. The big problem for Ra and for Egyptian in general is always, how can I get more Migdols out? And the answer is just slowly start putting them down. Spearmen are a perfectly reasonable unit to build at this point in the game. Spearman, Camel, Chariot Archer is a great unit composition against basically everything that a Greek player can build. But Nulf at this moment, a 3rd town center coming down. He's got his Hippias in the back. He's got his archers over here protecting all the town centers. You have to also remember that full population here for Nulf, even without this 3rd town center, is still very, very big. We've got ourselves the Shifting Sands coming in onto this position, taking out the villagers. There's a ceasefire, and he decides to drop it there. Town center will be completed. But here's the thing. Grabbing this town center does open up some sort of a problem. And that problem is Mythic Age. Though, is Der Super Saiyajin going for it, or is he going to go for the safer option and just grab town centers? Migdol Stronghold coming down onto this position here. As the army is looking to start, but that's so many units here for Nulf. Nulf is macroing off the chain here in this game. He's got a perfect army here as well, with those Toxotes to deal with the Spearmen, the Peltas to deal with the Chariot Archers, the Cavalry to deal with the Camel Riders to some degree here. But will he be able to make it work or not is the big question. Villagers jumping onto the granary over onto this spot, but he's run out of gold here as well. Not able to get that 3rd town center just yet. Villagers back over onto this gold mine. Will that get spotted? It doesn't get spotted. We've also got Nulf on this Ford gold mine over here as well. So he's getting good locations as we see a fortress getting dropped down onto this position here, as Nulf is slowly but surely gaining map control in a really, really big way here. And now we see Osiris. So the plan here is quite simple for Der Super Saiyajin. Effectively, build up the death comp, which is some version of Camel Rider, Chariot Archer, Spearman. Get the mummies. He's got 50 favor in the bank. Get the Son of Osiris and just try and hold here. But Nulf will be clicking up that Artemis very, very shortly. He wants to get it. Actually, maybe not that shortly. He's going for fortified town centers as well. He's going to have the food very quickly, but with only 11 villages on gold, it's going to take him quite a while to get there. Is the army now going to look to push up to the top side? How are the armory upgrades looking is the big question. Non-existent versus bronze weapons is a good help for this stage in the game. Is the army now charging through that? Pharaoh needs to be healed up as well. Absolutely needs to be healed up. Spearman starting to get queued up. Do we see any sort of priest? I don't see a priest anywhere here to help out. As villagers up onto this spot, and now Super Saiyan. Third town center. And defend for the entirety of the game is the plan. It's very scary doing this against Poseidon. This sort of kind of sit back and let the Poseidon player do whatever they want is scary because they can just move around the map and just spam buildings, walls, and everything, especially going through Athena Aphrodite, as if you get this technology here already, as the villagers will have it, I believe, called Divine Blood, they get bonus speed and they get bonus build time. So you can really spam buildings out, and once you get yourself champion infantry, killing off those buildings is not simple because 2 militia, 5 militia, 10 militia, whatever it is, popping out of those buildings starts to become a very, very difficult thing indeed. There's still more upgrades coming through. As we see the army coming in, going to be denying these walls nicely. Good find there from Nulf. As Der Super Saiyan making its way over here. The Pharaoh still not healed up. Does he have any sort of priest coming out? There it is. The priest, the savior priest on the way. The savior priest on the way. Look at this bad boy. 1% pierce armor. I mean, he's not... I don't even know if he should have any hack armor either. But anyways, nonetheless.
And Geo?
Pharaoh going to get healed back up to full. Then it's going to be Son of Osiris. Then it's going to be Death Ball. Then it's going to be Go. We are seeing Super Saiyan here now looking for raids with those camel riders. You've got to be so careful with them. As Nulf is already in position there to send him packing. Camel riders retreating off to the right side of the map. There's that Son of Osiris God Power in as the Centaur getting taken out. Will this even kill off the town center is the big question. He's got fortified town centers. I don't know if he's got masons or anything else here. Well, he might be able to deny that Desert Wind, though. The Migdol's going to stand strong as the Camel Riders still running around, still surviving. That speed from the Poseidon cavalry is absolutely huge. Town Center going to be coming back up, but look at this army here from Der Super Saiyan at the moment. Son of Osiris is going to be getting huge amounts of damage. The Hippias joining in onto the fight a little bit late. Look at that population getting absolutely eviscerated here. Great micro as well from Der Super Saiyan to pull the Spearman onto the Hippias in the back here, as there's just no units left. Look at the population just absolutely get eviscerated. Villagers coming over onto that gold mine here as well. Huge win for Der Super Saiyan in this game, as Nulf now heavily on the back foot. The champion camel riders at this point with Desert Winds are going to be able to fly around this map and get some serious villager kill action happening. The only thing here that Nulf really has over Der Super Saiyan is going to be armory upgrades. It's going to be he has to somehow kill off that Son of Osiris. This thing is absolutely carrying the army at this moment. And now up onto the left side of the map, those Camel Riders are going to be coming. See a couple of villagers building up a fortress. Going to be able to take those out very quickly. Moving into the center of the map here, trying to take out buildings. There's the Chimera in onto this spot, but that's not going to last long, especially with Son of Osiris there. As the Hippias are going to try and find themselves somewhere on this map to take out here. As the Camel Riders now pushing in onto this position to take out the villagers on that gold mine there. Retreating back over here. The Hippias, they're coming in. He's got to wait on the population, or at least get in front on the population. Look at all the resources in the bank. How much is the market selling for? You can sell food for gold. How many stables do we have? There's 7 stables here for Nulf at the moment, as the villagers are going to be getting sniped down over here, going to be jumping into the town center and seeing exactly what they can do. As the army charging over here to try and deal with those Hippias. At the moment, some catapults going to come through in an attempt to take out this position here. You can see that the map has basically been chopped in half, but not the half you'd expect. So there's no real advantages in gold control here, as Camel Rider's going to be checking out this gold mine. It's basically a full gold control started at the moment, with the exception of this gold mine. This building's getting cleaned up. Population coming through here. Nulf, he's almost back up to full pop. I think he's missing a house here at the moment. Is he? He's got fortified town centers. I think he is missing a house. It's not like a relic or something. No. Oh, Tearfing Angantier's sword. Does that affect the Son of Osiris? No. Okay. Town center going to get taken out will mean a lot of militia to come through here, but the army is just so obscenely powerful at the moment. Whereas the units here for Nulf, he has to bide his time. There's always a way to come back in this position if you've got the economy. If you've got the economy, there's always a way, especially catching that Son of Osiris out. No favor in the bank for a secondary shifting sands here either. There will be favor in the bank for a curse, however, on the next fight, which, if positioned correctly to open up that Son of Osiris, could be gigantic. But the army getting into position here beautifully. Great control from the Super Saiyajin, as Nulf going to be attempting to charge through with the help of those militia to come in, as well as the Peltas going to be microing. I think a whole bunch of those Hippias currently waiting down the bottom. He's forgotten about them. That's 12 Hippias. So much population not in the fight at the moment, as the Son of Osiris pushing forward. Will the Super Saiyajin notice this? The villagers getting taken down onto this position, but for the first moment in this game, the Super Saiyajin has found the score lead moving forward. There's all the units in the world queued up, as well as only Peltas here. No gold income, no real gold to get. He can come into this gold mine, I guess. But at this point here, the next move is simple. Grab the town center, get the population advantage in a big way, and find the win. Can Nulf bring this one back? A couple of villagers do get spotted in the center of the map here. They're all going to get sniped down. There is a slight trade route started. 31 gold only. It's not going to be enough, as the catapults slowly starting to make their way down. The army, however, is looking fairly powerful at this point. Can he get in onto the Son of Osiris or not is the big question, as the army charges forward to take out the catapults on the back here. He's got no answer for this spearman. The Peltas, however, will be able to take down those chariot archers very, very fast. Town center going to be targeting down the Son of Osiris here. Now the cavalry are coming in, and that's going to be Son of Osiris down here, ladies and gentlemen. The army of Nulf comes through and cleans house, as the Super Saiyajin needs to pull back right now, and he's got his town center up. Population here is in a little bit of a flux here. The problem is that Nulf has now got no gold income. He has to take fights only that he can win. Spearman charging forward yet again onto the back position. The Prodromus go. The Peltas will be getting some damage done onto those spearmen, but not a crazy amount. Toxotes coming through as well. The trading situation is disastrous now, as a gold mine is a must grab for Nulf. You can come forward and grab this gold mine over here. You can try and sneak back over onto this gold mine. We see the laborers coming through for our Ra player to try and continue this gold strangle. The problem is that Nulf can't wait around. He's finally dealt with the Son of Osiris, but the army is not getting any smaller here. It's now going up to 146 pop all against 87 here, as those champion cavalry going to be charging down to the bottom side of the map here, as the villagers getting pulled back. And he will be able to get a little bit of pain onto this position here. As what was this fortress going to be for? Some siege weapons to try and push through the center of the map here. Migdol's stronghold onto this spot is absolutely genius. If you can get a market over here, you can also start a crazy big trade route if necessary. As the Spearman going to clean up those militia over here as well. Prodromus trying to push forward. Siege works onto this spot going up. Iron Mail, Iron Shields on the way. These units are now going to be insanely tough. Full Iron. It's 27 minutes into the game, but full Iron is going to be in for Der Super Saiyan as Nulf is trying his hardest to stay alive here. Gets a little shot off before deciding to retreat back. I like that. Kind of bait them in a way to take a fight that is sort of unnecessary. The army going to be pulling back. Villagers getting pulled into the center of the map here as the camel riders, the spearmen, they are overwhelming at this point. As Curse gets dropped down again here for Nulf, as he's got so much favor coming through. I mean, making Centaur here would not be a terrible idea. It does not cost gold. Would be an answer for the spearmen to some degree, but Nulf refusing to do so. And in that moment, Der Super Saiyan manages to equalize in this series. We're now moving into a game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. A really, really great comeback here from Der Super Saiyan. He had his game plan in mind. He microed really, really well to keep that Son of Osiris alive, and Nulf just could not get the engagement that he wanted, and it ended up being an incredibly tough game for him to play. Look at how far in front he was, economically speaking, but economy is only so important as obviously here the army power of Ra just immense in this game with that Son of Osiris, and Der Super Saiyan gets that huge value. We'll move on to game number 3. Hope you guys are having a fun time hanging out, and if you're enjoying it, definitely consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. From the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tables and chairs even, in the top side of the map, in the blue color, playing as Zeus, his name is Der Super Saiyan. In the bottom side of the map, in the red color, playing as Uranus. His name is Nulf. What a time to be alive. The winner of this has the pleasure to move on to face the Mister. So this is kind of a big series here. Fighting against the Mister is one of those rare treats for a lot of players because he's just so insanely good that you actually get to feel what that actually is, and you see what level you can actually get to in Age Mythology. But we've got a game to be very, very locked in and seeing exactly what these players are going to do on. We better be paying attention. We've already got 5-6 villages over onto wood. Gold mine going to be coming through. Fishing ships coming out nicely here for the Super Saiyan. Nulf, on the other hand, 2 villages on wood, 1 villager coming over to gold. So the question is, how big of a fish boom do you go with Uranus here? This is one of those... I would say this is one of those situations or matchups or whatever that we really haven't seen much of, so to speak. We really haven't seen a player come in with Atlantean, with the exception of maybe Kronos, and Kronos is a little bit more aggressive than Uranus. We haven't really seen an Uranus player come in and just go, this is the best opener for Uranus. There's kind of 2 thoughts here. One is advance fast, put pressure on, and get value on the land, right? And the second option is take the slower route, get your fishing ships out, and go from there. So big boom, right? And then you kind of try and play more of a big macro game. So wait and see if this one's going to work for Nulf, but he is going for a faster advance time for sure here. Temple coming up for Stir Super Saiyajin as well. He's got himself 8 villagers on wood, so he's going for more of a fish boom to kick this one off. He is seeing the fishing spots up on this spot in a big way here. He's also going to be bringing a cow over here to eat. I love this. For those of you who do not know, you can indeed drop food into a dock. It is a food deposit, so to speak, as the villager going to come over here and start eating that one up. On the bottom side here, the Kotoska boss is going to be grabbing some cows, as that one's going to be moving down to the bottom side of the map. Villagers finishing up on the boards over here as well. As we'll see how this game is going to start motoring ahead. Athena on the way here for Der Super Saiyajin. No surprises there. Prometheus on the way on the other side. And funnily enough, what I thought would be a faster advance here for Nulf is turning into a fairly standard advance on this map, I would guess. Now, will he put up down more docks or not is the big question. There is a nice little dock position over here. You probably should put a dock down here as well. Some more fishing ship spots over on this spot here as well. Same too here for Der Super Saiyajin. Just because you click advance does not mean you need to stop producing fishing ships. There's no rules in this, right? Like, you're still getting wood income. You can get those fishing ships whenever you want. It's just that often earlier is better than later in these sorts of situations. But you do have to also be concerned about all the other stuff that's going to be happening, as we do see a cheeky little oracle coming through here. If we take a quick look at the mini-map here for Nulf, he's got himself 5 out already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what does that mean? That means a lot of Prometheans are going to be able to be built here for Nulf coming through. This is one of the really strong things with Atlantean, and a very difficult thing to deal with for Greek, as we see a couple of boats coming out to start harassing onto the water. There's already 2 docks down here for Nulf, as the village is going to move over onto this side. But double Murmillos coming through. No quick alluvial clay here, so it might not be a Promethean spam. He's also not going for any sort of valors early on, so potentially using those strictly on Murmillo. As this Promethean does get sent packing, there is already a Jason out grabbing himself that kind of big jar of Imcity. That's a big relic to pick up early on, as the Valor coming down on Nulf's Murmillo there. Moving forward, a counter barracks going to get thrown down as well, as the ships will slowly start sailing down to the bottom location to get a little bit of raids happening onto Nulf's fishing economy. As Military Academy now getting dropped down, as it looks like Der Super Saiyajin is going to be seeing what's coming for him. Lots and lots of units out for the time being, as if you're Zeus in this situation, you've got to feel like you are pretty far behind. He's got to get those buildings out. He's got to get those units pumping to start defending himself. But good reaction to pull back onto the cows for this moment. The Military Academy is up, but he probably needs to go like Military Academy archery range here at this point. Watchtower is going to be coming through here just to defend himself up, as we do see the raids coming in. Pentacontra is such a good raiding ship. It's very quick. With Micro, I feel like you can get so much value. Any of these like long rate of fire units, it's really important to be sort of orb walking with them. But it's so hard to do this. Like I'm saying, this is like this is just really hard to do it. Nonetheless, a couple of fire ships going to be coming through. Prometheans are now starting to be queued up, and I mean Nulf at this point. What's he going to do? He's got to put pressure on, because there's going to be a heroic age coming through. And with heroic age comes Odysseus. And comes Skylar. And comes per scene, which boosts the fishing ship income even more. The one fire ship out for the time being here. It looks like the Pentacontras are going to be more than enough to deal with this, though. Fighting underneath that dock fire is going to be big. Another fire ship is now out, and it looks like Nulf is going to be able to hold, as the Murmillo charging forward, going to be able to take down the watchtower on this spot. As the fire ship's charging in to take down the Juggernaut over here as well. Units regrouping up on this top side here, going to be pulling back. As the hoplite Jason swinging down to the bottom side of the map, looking for a little something to be created here. So many Prometheans coming through. Build a second temple, not a counter barracks, second temple. If you want Prometheans, yep, the temple is the way to go. Ooh, he's okay. Oracle's just gonna hang out here. He's like, hey guys, he's literally waving goodbye to them. Oh, their Super Saiyan sees it. As the unit's still gripping up here for Nulf. This is a very, very tense game here. Nulf obviously just going to be waiting for that gold mine to expire in the main base. There's still 1,500 gold in here as the Promethean Promethean, alluvial clay Promethean at that, going to come through. These are scary when you see those as Greek. You absolutely need heroic age here. Maybe, if you take a look at the actual stats of these, maybe going up through Apollo here is the right call. Because they've got low pierce armor. You can throw a lot of villagers onto favor and get Manticore out and use those Manticore to clean up the Promethean. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see if that's what the Super Saiyan is going to be doing here in this game. As Nulf just going to pull back, poking in, pull back. We've got those fire shifts coming in onto this with good micro from the Super Saiyan here to kind of garrison away there. As the fleet going to come back and defend itself. Still the lull before the war as both players still building up, still playing very defensively. Some idle villagers need to get onto that food there. See if we can manage to do that or not. Market coming through here. Military Academy and archery range on the way. Now, at a point, it's okay to just kind of walk in and get some value here. Snipe down a Toxote or two. I mean, the tower town center here does get some good damage done, but the army basically just doesn't want to fight at this moment. Sarissa coming through. Got that Dionysus queued up. So Dionysus also not a terrible idea if you can make those Hydra out. Get the heads on the Hydra to deal with the Promethean offspring. They can basically one-hit them if they get enough heads. So yeah, I think they've got 2x or something. The tower on the front going to be getting taken down. Cheeky little Toxotes here could get sniped, but Nulf not going to be going for it. As the Navy is going to be coming back in onto the bottom spot here, looking for some kills. Minotaur's coming through, however, for the Super Saiyan. Instead of going for that heroic age, which I did kind of like, he's going for some Minotaurs. Walls coming up on the bottom here. He might have to throw a market down. He's got one and start selling food and wood. I mean, the same could be done on the other side here to limit the ability to kind of trade and defend like this. As the Prometheans going to be charging in, as Nulf says, it's time to fight. Is this commitment going to be too much here? As the Murmillo charging in onto the back position, the heroes going after these Promethean beautifully. Good micro from Dirt Super Saiyan as the army from Nulf saying it's time to go. He does read that heroic age coming in nicely. As the Toxotes charging forward here, we'll see the Minotaur falling on this position as well. As the micro from Dirt Super Saiyan, will it be enough or not? The army is looking very, very close in size here. The heroes are still out for our Zeus player, but he needs to mic them onto the myth units. Those are the tough units to kill. Restoration now coming through. That's a big, big assistance here. No retreat from Nulf at this moment as he is just going to be hanging it out here. He wants to kill off as many units as he possibly can. As Dirt Super Saiyan has moved over onto the gold mine at the bottom position there. Hoplites charging in to try and take out the Caraballister on this spot. As those Hoplites all retreating back home. Prometheans now slowly starting to come through yet again. Population differential is still quite close. But like I said, the problem for Nulf here, he's got to hit this fortress coming up. The problem for Nulf is he's not going to have any food. income from the water. And Dirt's Super Saiyajin, he can now get himself that Persine technology. He's not able to afford it just yet. Fortress is almost up as the army will have to take a fight here. Those Caraballas are going to be hitting like a truck as the Promethean, the myth units charging over here onto the villages is going to be huge. Big shockwave coming through as we do see a Hydra inbound to help out. More villagers going to be getting taken down. This is kind of the damage which Nulf needs to do, but it's looking like with a bolt coming down onto the back position there, Bronze getting thrown down for the remainder of these units here. It's still a very close fight. A lot of that military population is on the water for the Super Saiyajin, but it looks like his army is too much here for Nulf. As Nulf's still trying to deal with this, more units coming through, but it's too much. Three-headed Hydra as well has been constructed. As the army here simply just going to be retreating back. And to a Super Saiyajin, he doesn't have to be too aggressive here. If he can go and find where the... Obviously, if he can find where the gold is and get some nice raids where that's concerned, that'll be really, really big. But what can Nulf do? Can Nulf pull this one back? More Caraballas are coming through. Caraballas are pretty good against those hoplites. They are counter infantry after all, but the problem is they get absolutely dominated by the Peltast. And with a range of 20, once you get medium archers, heavy archers, then those champion archers, then those Peltast start getting into range very, very quickly in those fights and take out the Caraballas basically instantly. Got some raids onto the fishing ships. That's kind of annoying up there, but differential in villages is, I mean, it's surprisingly, I don't know. It's probably pretty close here. Have we seen Persine? It's now in. How many fishing ships is the question? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So villager differential here is actually pretty close. So economically speaking, I don't think Nulf is in front. I think the Dirt Super Saiyajin is well and truly in front here. Now, the way to come back here is to get some good raids onto those fishing ships and maybe get the fish economy happening yet again by killing off this navy and starting that back up. So many Caraballas are coming through. I mean, he's got... if he can get to the heroic age, he'll have chaos to drop onto those Peltas, and then he can kind of deal with this army. But Dirt Super Saiyajin at this point, now throwing those walls up, he's going to be in a good spot. Another town center, or a town center coming up now for Nulf. Start getting himself a little bit more population. He's still kind of behind on pop in a big way, but again, a lot of that is on that navy. Each of these two pop, 4 pop. Is this 2 pop as well? 3 pop, so quite a bit here. Almost 10 population, 11 population here. Probably 10 population. Wait, is this 11? No, it's only 3 pop for a Skylar. Only 3. That thing's insane. Question in the chat, how is Super Saiyajin free fishing and they're still the same score? Well, the answer to that is that he's lost a lot of villages along the way here. So losing villages on land, but having fish, economy is equal. 4 is normal, 3 for Zeus, exactly. Zeus does get 1 pop off for every single myth unit. As Hyperion, now in. The army coming up onto the left side of the map as Dirt Super Saiyajin says, I'm full pop, it's time to fight. He's got 6 villagers on favor as well, so he's going to be making his way for another restoration. Just look at that Hydra. This thing packs a punch right now with every... well, it packs a headbutt. Or 3 right now as he tries to take down the town center. The army going to be coming up to the top side of the map, but can he fight this one? He can't. The army charging forward, he's going to get a huge amount of damage. Look at those Beltas going to town there. Does he have himself... ballistics? No ballistics in just yet. Metropolis going to be trying to snipe down the town center over here. So villagers coming through to repair this one back up. Army slowly pushing forward. We've got some Contarius queued up. Prometheans. Satyr on the way. Army charging in. Will the chaos? There's that chaos to come through. It's a little bit before the restoration, so the army is going to be doing a lot of damage here. There's no shockwave to be used just yet, but the Mermillo are getting a good amount of damage. Look at that. Hydra on the back is still popping off in this fight. 3 heads going on 4 heads. We see a bit of a Valor coming in as it's looking like Nulf is able to win this fight, though the Hydra goes down and Dirt Super Zyajin needs to retreat back away. As that chaos was absolutely key here, but funnily enough, as the Eranos player had the favored advantage, the favored gather advantage early game, now it's flipping onto the other side here as Dirt Super Zyajin, 6 villagers on favor. He's going to be getting more favor, and he's going to be having that restoration or a whole bunch of Minotaurs to come through. Lots and lots of gold in the bank here to spam those Minotaurs out would be a nice way to move forward. As the third town center is now up as well for Nulf. We see a second town center up for Dirt Super Zyajin as this gold mine going to be running out very, very shortly. The army now clashing in onto the middle of the map here. Armory upgrades. Let's have a quick look. Well, actually, after the fight, maybe it's going to be sort of retreating back. Those Peltas not close enough to kind of get up onto the Karabalista here. Shockwave will be available very, very shortly, though the army of the Super Zyajin looks like it's fighting decently. Villagers charging 40. There's the Shockwave onto those Peltas as the Karabalis are getting caught out of position in a big way here from those Peltas. The Sati are going to try and get the good damage done, but majority of those Karabalis are going to be going in, as we see now Nulf going in for Murmillo Arcus to keep this push going. As the army charging around onto this side here as well, that Heracles will be able to take out a Satyr and everything else on this backside. Villagers coming forward here to get onto the gold in the center of the map. As the Peltas coming in, sniping down the Karabalis, are doing what they can here as well. It does look like Super Zyajin manages to hold here. Let's take a look at those armory upgrades. None. And some decent ones here. The repopulation is the hard part, because this army is so strong, and the fact of the matter is, with Nulf losing out on his Oracle situation, only down to 4, he's not able to get all those myth units out that he absolutely needs to bolster up his army. The advantage, I would say, of Atlanteans is not the human unit, it's the myth unit. The myth unit is cheap, it is strong, it is big. 8 favor. And now we see Dirt Super Zyajin clicking up through Hera. And this is big. This is going to be an absolute destruction of an army coming through here. Now, Nulf has still got the advantage, economically speaking, at the moment. We've also got this Scar. 75 HP, 3-headed Skylar making its way around the ocean here. As the Kontara is going to be looking, and we do see the Hecate coming through here for Nulf. Kontara is going to be charging in onto this wooden gate here to break this one down. Villagers coming through here to start getting a little bit of that repair action going. So much repair action. Go, look at him go. Walls are strong, guys. Look at them go. The repair rate, insane. Kontara is going to be retreating back. More Prometheus now on the way. But with Hera coming through first, the first timing that's going to hit will be Lightning Storm. As a town center going to be getting grabbed maybe that little bit early here. Nulf does spot this. He's now got himself that heavy upgrade. He's going for the ballistics as well. The army's sitting here waiting, watching. The Kontara is going to be coming back over onto this position to knock this wall down, try and get some more villager kills. He absolutely needs to make that happen. Kontara is pulling back here. Too little, too late to stop the third town center from going up, as another fortress up onto this position will be big. Gold mines are the thing that are going to determine this matchup, is my best guess. Lightning Storm might determine this matchup as well. How many buildings does Nulf have? He's got himself 7, 1 temple, and 5 counter barracks. So he can make Terma out if need be to help deal with those archers. Contarius, Arcus, and everything else. Is the army now looking to get a little bit of a surround here, but Dirt Super Zyajin knows exactly what he's going to be doing here. Hanging out on this position as the army retreats back. Hera is through. Lightning Storm to be getting dropped down very, very shortly. I'm sure, does he even need to is the question. And there he goes. There's that lightning storm. And no retreat here from Nulf. The entirety of this army is going to get erased here, as this game is going to get flipped directly onto the other side. Unit in the main base does get sniped down. There's not going to be an immediate Tartarian gate in the main base here for a distraction. As where is he going to drop it? Another gold mine on this position up the top getting taken as well there. But Der Super Saiyan is going to be coming through onto this position here, take out the town center. Citizens going to be retreating away. As we do have a Promethean trying to take out some villages here. Still no Tartarian gate to be seen here just yet. And there's the Tartarian gate getting dropped. I mean, I guess it takes out a fortress? This is not where the villagers are. You really want to be dropping the Tartarian gate where a whole bunch of villagers are, so you can potentially kill those and maybe a town center as well. But the army of Der Super Saiyan says, all right, I'm just going to retreat back. We're just going to kill this Tartarian gate off and call it a day. As the Kontari is charging in here to take out the Petropolis on this spot to keep that one alive for a little bit longer. The Tartarian gate will end up getting sniped down. Tartarian spawns, they are spawning, and they are getting some decent amount of damage done here, if I'm completely honest, to take out a bunch of these units here. Look at that damage. They're actually really, really strong. But with the Bellerophon out and these units out, Super Saiyan's army is absolutely stonking at this point. Arcus coming over here to try and deal with the villagers on this gold mine. This gold over here almost expired. This gold mine over here very, very healthy. This gold mine here very much almost expired. So Nulf has to have this in the back of his mind, that this is where the problems are going to be. As Champion Kontari is coming through, hoplites need to be being made as the destroyers manage to take out that fortress on this position. As Nulf is finding his pushback after this army here wasn't completely eliminated. Another bronze, however, for Der Super Saiyan coming through. As Nulf just needs to retreat away. He's got the speedy Kontarius. It's not a problem. One thing for Nulf here is to get a couple more oracles out at this point to get more favor so he can match the kind of favor generation rate of Der Super Saiyan. He's also got access to another restoration at this point as well, as the units coming in over here trying to snipe villagers, trying to keep the villager count low. He's doing a great job of that, but the buildings on this top side of the map going down, that's the problem. Town center over here can get sniped down very, very quickly as the Kontari is turning around. They need to just go after villages. That's the best place for them to be going. Leaving this position as well now. Smart play, but on this position now, the palace going down. The town center is going to be the next port of call as Mermillo Kontari is charging in here to try and take out the villages in the center as the hoplites coming through to try and deal with this. There's still Tartarian spawns causing problems here as the Kontari is looking for villagers to kill on this position as well, just running around the map. There are still villagers over here for them to take out as the hoplites manage to clean up all the units over here. It's still a very, very tight game here as the Mermillo Arcus numbers going to get produced back out onto this spot. Villagers retreating back over here as the Kontarius manages to get another little bit of damage. As the entirety of this army of Der Super Saiyan needs to come over here and stop this. But he can just retreat away and then he can push back over onto this spot. We will be seeing a fortress coming back up onto this location, but the Mermillo are in. They're going to be able to snipe down the Bellerophon as well. An insanely strong unit with an army, but by itself does get picked off very, very quickly. Left with 44 HP as the Mermillo is still going after this. That Tartarian spawn is still going. Kontarius moving back up to the top side of the map, looking for more distraction action here. The army is just so insanely big here for Der Super Saiyan. Doesn't matter. He's also got another restoration if need be. At some point, these units have to take everything out, and he will be getting some good damage done with those Arcus. As the Hippias, they're still trying to take this fight, but where are the ranged units? He's only infantry at this moment. And Champion Arcus is coming through. More Kontarius as well for potentially just raiding while trying to snipe down the units. The more Nulf just slowly chips away at this population here, or this military population, the further in front he's getting. He's also getting those armory upgrades as well. On the other hand here, Der Super Saiyan only copper versus only copper as well. So it is very, very close here as the Arcus can literally kite into oblivion. Yes, those hoplites are pretty quick here, but with a small meat shield, he can literally just kite back and be in a great spot. There's the chaos coming in, but a restoration is in nonetheless. No problems where that's concerned, as the Contaris need to come through and tank as well. Champion Arcus are going to getting so much damage here. More units queued up for Nulf in this position, as the Murmillo charging forward to try and deal with these units. Peltast on the back. Going to attempt to snipe down more stuff here, but the Hoplite's going to clean up those Murmillo. Arcus retreating away as population has dropped drastically here for Nulf. He's still only got 7 military buildings. I can't stress this enough. You need to get those military buildings done. And now the gold mine situation is starting to become very, very grim here. As, I mean, both players, it's getting grim. Both players. Once it all runs out, how much gold in the bank? I mean, you can in the trade, not very much. As the army can come back up and continue to snipe off these units. If Nulf here can secure another 3,000 gold away from Der Super Saiyan, that can be all that matters here. I mean, you look up at the score and you see how far in front Nulf is, but this does not matter in the slightest. No trade route constructed here. We see a market up somewhere. A market over here, a market up on this side. A trade route can be started very, very quickly, very, very shortly, but it's going to be very, very weak. As the Arc is coming forward. So they have themselves, they do have ballistics in, so they're going to be getting a lot of damage done as Der Super Saiyan needs to retreat away. Units up onto this spot. We've got the destroyers to come through and try and snipe out the fortress here as well. No specific upgrades, no Atlas here to boost those destroyers, but it doesn't really matter. As we do have Peltas coming through, and this is the big thing. When you get into this position, low gold cost units are king. Because, like Peltas, 25 gold. They are, or 20 gold, excuse me. They are absolutely king in these fights, because that means that you're going to be spending less gold than your opponent to keep your army going. As it's a very, very close fight here ensuing. We got the shockwave onto the back there. Restoration coming down yet again for Der Super Saiyan as the Contarius retreating back. The Arcus pulling away yet again. They have to stay out of range of those Peltas. They still don't have themselves that champion archers, but champion infantry coming through is very, very big. There's still just 7 military buildings. I mean, arguably some more Caraballister would not go astray here as units getting pulled away. The Contarius yet again going after the villagers on this gold mine. Villagers back onto this gold mine yet again, going to be cleaning that up. We've got a couple of Terma joining into the fight here as well, but the Peltas are going to be getting so much damage here as Arcus needs to retreat back yet again. We see the trade route now started for Nulf in an attempt to keep himself going in this game as the Peltas gets, look at the damage they're doing. They're absolutely erasing those Arcus, but the hoplite numbers have been quashed here to some degree as now Contarius will come through and be able to clean up the remnants here of those Peltas. At least that's what it should do. We've got another fortress coming through as the Fanatics are going to be able to get some good damage done onto those villages to clean those up. Hoplites charging in. The Arcus trying to pull away from this spot as the Contarius, I mean, he's got to get onto the Peltas. There's just not enough here. At this point, you've also got access to mass myth units as well. Never forget that. Food, wood, satyr, Promethean, right? To help bolster this army. Der Super Saiyan has also got access to Hydra at this moment. And I think Medusa as well are costing wood. They don't cost gold anymore, right? They cost wood. Yes, they do. So you can get yourself out a ton of non-gold costing units. And both of these gods are perfect for that with their favored generation rate. 14 on favor here for Der Super Saiyan. He's got access to another restoration moving forward. The fortress is back up. That gold mine is about to be finished. Over here, this gold mine is about to be finished. Over here, this gold mine, 1,600 remaining. There's no, I mean, what else can Nulf do? His gold is so low here. He's got to keep taking these fights, but this army is going to keep rebuilding. The villager difference is slowly starting to catch up, as well as I think Der Super Saiyan kind of knows this in a way that he's got a little bit more gold than his opponent does, because he's got, I mean, you have to know, 40 Peltas at the moment. Another Bellerophon out. This is going to be absolutely gigantic as the Contarius is going to be searching around for things to take out here. And the other thing is you have to put that market all the way onto that corner there. Otherwise, things get really, really difficult here. As the Qualifiers are going to be pushing forward in onto those Peltast onto the back. Arcus going to be getting that good damage done. Can he erase this army or not is the big question. I don't know if he's going to be able to. An attempt at micro there. Not going to be enough as the Arcus need to pull back yet again. Still, raids kind of all over the map. Couple of Prometheans here will get sniped down very quickly if the Super Saiyan notices it. And we still got that gold mine over here going down. 600 gold remaining. This gold mine over here going down. The town center on this position going to be going down. This game is absolutely insane. There's also Archive patronage as well, but there's just not that many fortresses. There's just the one, so it's actually probably not worth to build at the moment. This game is out of control. How many trade caravans do you really have here as the Arcus able to push forward? I love this spread formation against the Arcus as the Destroyer on the bank going to be able to tank a ton. Look at the overkill, however, from the Peltast in this fight as Qualifiers now coming through. Great micro, however, from the Super Saiyan, able to deal with this in a big way, but the population is standing strong for the moment here as the Super Saiyan getting pushed back. This gold mine is gone. This gold mine is gone. Town center falling as Nulf looking like he's going to be able to push through at this moment. What else can Der Super Saiyan do? He's trying to queue up the units. He's got 227 favor in the bank. Medusa are what he can do here, ladies and gentlemen. Get those Medusa out. Arcus going to be able to take down the hoplites and everything else on this position as the units here going to be retreating back. Hoplites are back in as the Arcus need to deal with this newly formed army. Another restoration is available. Another bronze. Not quite available, but definitely restoration angle here for Der Super Saiyan. With that Bellerophon almost taken out. 17 HP. It's getting so much value on this fight. The gold mine in the center is still available. 1,000 gold here. Could be the difference between winning and losing in this game. Der Super Saiyan, no trade route. He's got a trade route. He's got a market, but no trade route started. No gold income. He's on 0 gold. The market, you can sell some food for a little bit here. You can sell some food for a little bit of gold is kind of the only option. And the Medusa have started. The Hydra coming out. This is going to be huge. Hydra will be absolutely gigantic at this moment. There's the army here for Nulf repopulating onto this position. We've got a docks coming down onto the bottom side of the map here. Trying to get more fishing shenanigans in. More food income means more Hydra. Maybe another temple wouldn't go astray. Some more military academies coming through. Just like any other military building, if you ever see a 2, a 3 on your building, it means you need more of that building, generally speaking. That's the army trying to push forward, and Nulf, can he grab the town center? Does it matter? I mean, he's at full population. It kind of matters. He's got to continue to take these fights while he's got that trade route advantage. Yes, it's only 26. This gold mine in the center is just sitting here begging to be mined by either player. As the Qualifier is trying to get around onto those Peltas, this low HP Bellerophon finally getting sniped down. There is access to Valors here as well at this point to try and deal with these myth units as the Hydra charging forward here. Satyr going to be getting taken lots of units in the back, now getting heroized to attempt to deal with these myth units. And this is going to be the counter which Nulf absolutely needs in this game. Der Super Saiyan pulling back. We're going to be seeing the Medusas getting cleaned up. The army numbers here for Der Super Saiyan incredibly low. He can no longer sell food. He's now starting that market. He's got a market up on this position, but I mean, you kind of need like 5 markets at this point. Look at the 6 Hydra queued up. Can we see any sort of Oracle shenanigans? More Prometheans coming out for Nulf to try and keep his population up. The town center on the middle here still not coming through for either player as neither player can afford it. Hydra goes down. How many heroes are left? We've got another handful of hero. Arcus getting that big damage done onto the Hydra in the back. The Odysseus, however, will be able to snipe down those Satyr as both players just cannot find the angle here in this game. Peltas slowly starting to push forward. Satyr going to be getting some good damage done. As the Hydra does manage to get through over onto this side. The Promethean is in, but the army numbers of Dirt Super Saiyan somehow managing to stay afloat in this game as a whole bunch of Contarius are queued up yet again. And the problem is the more llama caravans you build, the more trade you build, the smaller your army becomes. So funnily enough, at this point, even with the extra 35 pop in the bank, I mean, you have to remember that Dirt Super Saiyan's also got a ton of fishing ships in. Oh, now we see the gold mine getting grabbed. To finish the point, though, the army is just smaller as this town center almost going down, able to keep that one alive as the Contarius charging in here as well. But Dirt Super Saiyan, he's still got Hydra, he's got the Medusa coming through. He's just trying to get all of those myth units out at this point. As Hero Mermillo going to be the unit of choice. I like that idea, but there are a whole bunch of, it looks like, Capacipists here as well. Is the army kind of getting caught out? There's not enough favor in the bank for another Shockwave. And now Nulf is going for this town center, but this does get spotted. And picking this off is going to be gold back as the gold mine in the center there, 700 gold. And the thing is with Retold, you very rarely get to this point. Very, very rarely. As the Mamillo are going to charge over here. So the players just don't really know what to do. Contarius can swing around onto the back, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Great control by Nulf in this game. As the town center going to be coming back up for Dirt Super Saiyan, he's slowly starting to get that trade route in. Great raid onto those villages here to snipe those down. But I mean, this doesn't... I don't know if this is helping at this point, giving more population for the military as the Mamillo's going to charge forward. Medusa just sniped down units so effectively. Town Center going to be coming back up here, it looks like, for Dirt Super Saiyan, as the Mamillo heroes, they're going to get sniped down insanely quickly on the front. And the army for our Zeus player looks like it's absolutely cooking at the moment. Villagers coming back into the center of the map to grab that gold there. Over onto this side, we've got the Contarius hanging out on this spot. They've got to find that trade route and be sniping those trade caravans or something here. As the Contarius heroes managed to snipe one of those Hydra. Got 4 Hydras. So many heads here at the moment. You've got to be asking you the question here, where are the oracles for the Uranus player? Because he too could be spamming myth units. Lampedes. Just as effective, if not more effective, than Medusa at this point. Satyr, obviously insanely strong as well. The village is going to be able to finish up the gold mine over here. The population for Dirt Super Saiyan absolutely insane as well. Now we see even more Arcus heroes coming through, but look at the differential in population. It's still pretty close. It's still pretty close. As the army kind of getting caught out of position here, kind of getting stumbled as the army of infantry, Hydra, Peltast, hero of our Zeus player, Dirt Super Saiyan, is going to be pushing through onto this location to take out all these units. Half of his army is attacking a counter barracks. As the Hydra getting cleaned up, he's going to be pulling back, trying to get his units forward here. The population, the army of Nulf is still pumping. He's still only got 7 military barracks. Compare that over here, 15 military academies for Dirt Super Saiyan. He's got 5 archery ranges, but he really doesn't need that many of those. And now the army is completely overwhelming up onto this position. We do see the destroyers trying to take out the fortress here and go for that hometown center as a little bit of a last ditch effort here. As it's looking to me, even with Nulf having the ridiculous score lead, that's tied up in 5,000 food at the moment, which he cannot use. It's looking like Dirt Super Saiyan's push here is finding a way through. Watchtower going to be going down on this spot. Llama caravans going down as well. As the Hydra going to be moving forward onto this position in an attempt to fight their way through. Citizens going down on that location there as well. Even more llama caravans falling over here. Look at Hydra absolutely going to town on this. The gold income for Nulf is going to be completely kaput as the Destroyer is not able to take out that home town center there. The town center on this position can go down pretty quickly by that Hydra as well. As Dirt Super Saiyajin staying at a very, very healthy 209 population. And Nulf dropping down to 136 population here. As what else can Nulf do? He's no longer got a trade route. He's lost a whole bunch of citizen. He's got no army remaining. He can't produce anything. He's now building more Contarios, but he's got to deal with a whole bunch of hoplites still getting produced. Iron Weapons at 43 minutes into the game finally researched, as it looks like Dirt Super Saiyajin has held through all the adversity in the world. And we get a freeze, as is classic at this point, but the game is done. Dirt Super Saiyajin, too strong here in this game, will never give up and finds the victory, going on to meet the Mister. If you enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next round.